I think what OnPoint does is tremendous for athletes first and foremost. You know, like you mentioned, being an athlete, there's so many dynamics that an athlete might not be able to notice and make tangible, and I think that's exactly what OnPoint does. They're taking an outside view into those leadership skills that you're getting, into those connections you're building, all those great things, and putting them, making them tangible. So for an athlete, for me personally, I've built relationships with NBA players. I've built relationships with high-end coaches. I've gained some major skills, and a company like OnPoint, an entity like OnPoint, to be able to help me, pull all that together and put my best foot forward. I think that's a tremendous thing, and it's something that we don't see often. It's something that athletes at all stages in all areas of life could really benefit from. It's a thing I always heard, and I always like to emphasize that one day the ball stops bouncing, and what are you doing after that? And we've seen so many stories where guys end up broke, guys end up without anything because they don't know how to leverage those skills that they learned and leverage those relationships. And a place like OnPoint to like I said, make that tangible and give the athlete his best foot forward from those things is an excellent thing. I'm bigger than basketball. At the end of my career, I don't want people to know me as Nevell Provo, the basketball player. Like I feel if that's the only thing I've known for, I failed. So when I'm talking to kids, when I'm even just me striving to get a 4.0, everything I want to do is to be bigger than basketball and use basketball as a vehicle to get me to that next level, whatever that is. I actually did a reading on this. They call it, I think it was something, post-athletic depression or something. It's like an actual thing, and I read it. I'm like, wow, like this makes sense. You look at high performance athletes. Because even for me, and I'll use myself as an example. I've been an athlete as far as I can remember since I was age of 3. People known me as Nevell Provo, the basketball player. Like that was my status. I would get into. People would pay for my lunch because I played for Team Canada, or people would follow me on Instagram. That's where my I guess you could call it the ego. That's what filled my ego, basketball. So when I look at when that comes to an end, and I think for me, I kind of already went through that post athletic depression, and it wasn't as severe for me, but for me, I think last year I kind of already came into the mind frame of, all right, I'm shifting my brain to another area of life in terms of I'm focusing more on my academics and connecting with people and working outside of basketball, and that was a tough time for me. I'm not going to identify myself with this thing. Like I'm bigger than basketball. Basketball is a part of me, so it didn't, and that's where I was able to deal with it because I realized that it was healthy and it was beneficial for me to separate myself from just being identified. And I still love basketball, and yeah, I'm still a basketball player, but I no longer just see myself as only a basketball player in that sense, if that makes sense. For me to just focus my soul life on basketball, that would be detrimental to me. So for the advice I would give to a young guy coming up, or anyone who's just have their mind complete set on basketball, continue to stay focused, but that doesn't mean in your spare time, you try new things. Like for me, I had to pick up different books that had nothing to do with basketball whatsoever. And in school, I would take classes like art classes and photography courses, stuff that, and if I come into this world, I'm a rookie. Like I'm a fresh, clean guy. And they don't even care that I'm this big basketball star. In their world, I'm nothing. So it's humbling, and it just, like I said, opens those doors and let you and don't be afraid to try new things and put yourself out there and find out what you like outside of basketball.